So I am hopping on with a little craft with me video. This is for Scrap Diva Designs. I'm going to be using the candy cane from the candy cane gift box die, and I'll link everything in the description box below. This die was sent to me for free as part of the design team. And yeah, I don't do these types of videos very often because I'm a pretty slow crafter. It's not usually very quiet at my house. My whole desk is usually a wreck, so there's a lot of reasons. But I'm working on these and I thought, you know what, let me turn on the camera and we'll do it together and see where we go. So I'm using the candy cane gift box die, and the great thing about this is you can create the cute little gift box, but you can also just use the candy cane as an embellishment on its own, which I think is great because then you can get kind of double duty out of one die. So I've cut a whole bunch of these out. I'm not going to use all of these probably for this same project. But yeah, I did just layer them up. I used sort of this muted red cardstock and pink cardstock, and then the white for the scallop. And that's just paper I had in my stash. And what I've done is I have stitched this on the diagonal. I saw another design team member do something similar to this, and I thought it looked really great. So I just stitched it with some pink thread, and now I'm going to put some foam tape on the back and layer it here on top. So I did one already with the foam tape, and so that's what I'm going to do here. And I'm just using the cheap Dollar Tree, you know, foam squares that you get in the, like, I don't know, like the tool aisle, I guess. And I like to use a ton of foam tape on my projects. I try to cover the whole back of it. The reason for that is because if you only put a couple pieces on the back, if you ship it or it gets handled quite a bit, it'll start looking lumpy on the front. And I don't like that. You know, you spend all this time creating these projects, and I want it to look good even after it's been mailed or handled or whatever. So I try to cover as much of the back as possible with the foam tape. And that's one reason why I like to use this, you know, inexpensive tape, because it goes a long way for a little bit of money. So that's good. Okay, so I'm just going to cover this whole thing and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got this whole thing covered and I took off all the little papers, and now I'm just going to lay it on top of my die cut white scalloped piece and get it kind of lined up where I think it should be. And then once I have it in a good place, then I'm just going to smush it down. Okay, and I see I've got one little stray thread hanging out here, which I'm not too worried about. I kind of like the extra threads hanging off. I think it gives it a real cute, textured, handmade look. Okay, so there is that. Now, to decorate these, I'm going to be using the new American Crafts Holly Jolly collection, but I really have like no plan of what I'm going to do, so we're just going to pull out what I have, and then we'll go from there and come up with something to decorate these with. So let me get all the supplies going. Okay, so I'm using this collection. I think it's super cute. I'm sorry about this glare over here. I love this collection. Absolutely adorable. The only problem is it doesn't really have a lot of pieces to it. There's not a lot of embellishments. There's no puffy stickers. There's no chipboard. There's no like foam word stickers or anything like that. There was some foam letters, but that's it. So basically I've got the sticker sheet and this ephemera to decorate with. So I'm just going to sort of check it out. This container, I think I got this at Target a while back in the dollar spot. And when I'm working on something, I like to dump all the ephemera out to kind of work with it that way and sift through to see what I have and what I think will work. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to kind of sift through the ephemera and pick out smaller pieces that I think would fit on these candy canes and that would maybe go with it. And I'm going to put aside all the things I don't think would work. So I think these tags could work if I cut them apart. All the vellum pieces are going to go in a pile of probably not used because I'm not good at vellum. And so they kind of go to waste, to be honest, which is sad. Maybe someday I'll get used to it and figure out how to use them correctly, but today is not that day. So I'm just going to move all the vellum and then all the larger pieces, like stuff like this. That's way too big for these. So I'm going to move that stuff over here to the side and just kind of sift all of the pieces out. Now this is a little time consuming, but if I was making a lot of these, you know, definitely be worth the time. And honestly, this is the only way I can create, because if I'm looking through this huge stack, it's going to be too overwhelming to me, and I'm going to keep looking at stuff that I'm not even going to be able to use because it's going to be way too big. So instead, I'm just going to go through this stash here and kind of sort out what things are small enough to use and which things are too big to use. Okay, so I'll be right back. Okay, so that took me about 5 minutes to just sort through what I have and pull out some of the smaller pieces. I should mention that there is a combination of ephemera here and also some stuff from the cut apart sheets. That's usually what I do when I first get a collection. If I'm going to use it, I sit down and I cut all the cut apart sheets apart so that they're ready to go and to be able to use as ephemera. So that's what I've done. And then that stuff is mixed in here. And then I also have the sticker sheet if I see some things that will work there. So, what I'm going to do is just sort of start playing around with stuff and kind of getting an idea. Basically, what I want to do is create like a little cluster, probably in the corners. And then usually I'll have like a little banner going across the cluster. So I'm thinking I kind of want to use these tags here as my background layering piece. So when I'm layering, I need something that anchors all the little pieces down. So that could be something like these tags. It could be a die cut circle. It could be a rosette. It could be lots of things, but basically just something to kind of glue everything to, I guess. To me, that's a more uniformed look than if I just put all the pieces on here randomly. It just, for me, it sort of keeps everything together and grounds it a little bit. So I'm just going to work with one. I'm going to move this one out of the way, and I'm going to kind of just start layering some stuff and kind of thinking about what might look good. You know, I won't really know until I get going on this and kind of thinking about what could be added. When I'm doing this, I'm thinking about color. I'm thinking about size and scale. I'm thinking about how things look together. I'm kind of just, I don't know, thinking all of these things together, right? So, for instance, I'm not going to use this pink tag on top of this pink candy cane because the pinks don't match exactly. That would bother me. Plus, the pink would kind of blend in, right? So I've chosen the green because it's going to stand out. I've chosen this gingerbread because it's going to stand out. It's a different color. Now I'm just kind of looking for something that I could tuck in the background, maybe some kind of greenery piece or a snowflake maybe even. Now this snowflake is pink. It's okay. I would prefer if it was a different color, but I might not have a different color. So we'll see about that. We'll see what other colors of snowflakes we can find. Let me sift through here. A lot of this process is trial and error, just kind of seeing what I think looks good together. And of course, you know, I'm no expert, so I just do what I can over here, you know, and get it to a place where I think it looks good. And there we go. We're all done. Oh, here's a black one. Maybe that would be better. I kind of like that better. Oh, this is cute. Those little, gumdrops. Maybe tuck that in there. Oh, that's cute. Okay, let me zoom in just a little bit. There, is that better? So I'm kind of liking this whole cluster here that I've got going. That came together actually pretty quickly. And so now I'm looking for a sentiment. So when I make a cluster, like 9 times out of 10, there's going to be a sentiment across the middle. I don't know who I learned that from. I see a lot of crafters do that, so I'm sure I just learned it from watching other people do that. You can see this has a whole bunch of these sentiments. I love these. When I buy a collection, I get so excited when it has those little sentiment strips because, like I said, pretty much every cluster I make, I put one of those across the center. So now what I'm going to do is look at what color I want. So you can see this is basically all different colors. They've got a ton of different sentiments. I'm not really, you know, feeling like I need to have one specific sentiment. So more than anything, I'm looking at color. And I'm kind of leaning towards this blue. But let's see, we've got snowflakes, it's snowing, warm winter wishes, and let it snow. I don't know if any of those really fit the theme. Maybe this fa la la would be better, because I don't really have, like, it'd be different if I had a snowman on there, or even maybe that little winter guy. Let me see how I feel about this one. So I'm just going to kind of hold it there and see if it pops out. It looks pretty good. You're kind of covering up the whole dress of the gingerbread, but that's okay. I don't know. I don't know if I'm in love with this black one. Let me try. Let's see. Let me just try this little snowflakes one. Maybe I would like that better. I think I like this better. I think the black is too harsh for what I have going on. It's not that it looks bad. If it was white with black writing, I'd probably be all over it. But I think I'm going to go with this one. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is take this off of my candy cane, and I'm just going to layer it up. I'm going to grab some gold thread. So this is the gold thread that I use. I get this at Hobby Lobby, and it's in the, oh gosh, I think I'm just making a glare. That's what it is. It's in the embroidery section, and this is the kind I like to use to kind of just put like a little cluster of, you know, thread on my little embellishments that I'm making. And then I'm also going to grab some foam because I want to pop up, I think I want to pop up the gingerbread. So I'm going to put some foam on the back of her. And like I said, I like to cover the whole back as much as possible so that it doesn't bend or warp in the mail or after people have handled it. You know, I want it to be really sturdy. Again, yeah, I mean, you just spend so much time creating this stuff. It's like you want it to last. So we'll put some little foam on her and get her ready to go. Let me put this over here. I know that glare is so annoying. I don't have any fancy room lights. So we just get that glare. But I do really love this glass mat that I got. I'm really enjoying this a lot. Okay, let me take all the stickers off. Okay, so I took all the stickers off the tape, and then I'm just going to lay it back down where I had it and kind of pick up those little pieces and then sort of situate them where I want them to go. I think like this. So I want enough of that snowflake to poke out that you can actually tell it's a snowflake, and same with the little candy. And then I'm going to put the foam or the thread back here. So what I'm going to do is get my tape runner and just put a little adhesive on the back of these ephemera pieces so that the string will stick to them. And then I'm going to just lay this down, and I'm going to start wrapping it. However, just kind of in a mess. This is how I do it. I've seen it done lots of different ways. I learned this from somebody because I watched somebody do this in a video, but I can't remember who it was. That was years and years ago. You guys know I have a terrible memory. I used to have a really great memory, and then I had a baby, and I don't know. I don't have a good memory ever since then. I mean, you know, it's not horrible, but I can't remember like where I see YouTube videos and things like that. So, okay, here we go. All right, there's my dog in the background. She likes to be in here while I craft. Okay, so now I've got my gold thread, and you can see this is what it looks like on the back. So I just kind of put it so that there's a bunch of little loops sticking out the back. And now I'm ready to put it on my ticket, and I'm going to use a little hot glue for that. So I'm going to just put the glue here and get that going. And then I'm going to stick this down, and I want my Mary to be kind of at an angle where it's a little bit covered up, but you can still tell it says Mary. I like to layer, but I'm one of those people, I don't like to cover it up so much that you can't tell what it is. It bothers me. I want you to still be able to see what it is. All right, now this is a pretty sturdy sticker. If it was a thin paper, I would first stick it on some cardstock, trim it out, and then make it a little thicker. But this is actually pretty thick cardstock on its own. So I'm going to put some foam on the back of this. So I'm just going to take one of these foam squares and I'm going to trim it in half. And then I'm going to put it on the back of this here. And then I'm going to stick it on my gingerbread. And I think we're going to have to cover up part of her dress because I want her legs to show. So maybe if I put it at an angle, we can still see that she's wearing a dress. Okay, here we go. So there is my little cluster, and now I am going to put it on my little, what is this? Candy cane. Okay, so the way I have it, you could totally leave it as is. It looks really cute this way. But I kind of want just like a little white behind it poking out. Just a little contrast to set the cluster apart from the actual candy cane. And so I started digging through my dies and I found this one in my stash. This is an old Spellbinders die, probably from like 10 years ago. And I'm using this second to smallest one here, and I die cut this out. And I'm thinking I'm going to put this behind here. So if you put this here, I don't know. I think I kind of like it. I think it just gives it a little bit of contrast. I wish the circle was a little bit smaller, but I don't think I have one. Hold on, I'm going to look. Okay, so I know I have smaller doily dies, but I can't find them. So what I decided to do instead was use this one, but to die cut a little circle that fits on the inside. This is just some circles I have in my stash, and I found one that fits. And so I think that looks really cute contrast there. And then to layer this up on top, and then to put this on here, and I think that looks really adorable. So I'm going to glue all of this together, and I'll be right back. Okay, I did decide to stitch this little circle. I thought the contrast of the pink would look really cute. You can see I'm no expert stitcher here. In fact, I got off on the side, but it's not going to matter. We're going to cover that part up. And then when you put it there, you can kind of see the stitching behind, which I think is just a cute little touch. So, you know, strategically place your embellishments so that it covers up any flaws. Because really you're just seeing a hint of that stitching, but it really does look cute. So I'm going to glue this down now with my Barely Arts glue here. That's pretty much what I use unless I'm using like hot glue. So I'm going to line this up. There we go. And then because I have a bunch of layers and stitching here, I'm going to use hot glue to glue this embellishment onto this candy cane. So I'm going to just put some glue back here, mostly in the center because that it's going to squish out. And then I'm going to place my embellishment where I want it to be. Okay, and there we go. I think that looks really cute. Now, let me see if I want to add anything else to this. I mean, you could put a little charm over here maybe, but then you'd have to punch through several layers, and I've got the foam, so that's probably not going to be very easy. I don't know about a bow. I think that might be too distracting from what we've got going. Yeah, I think I'm going to call it good. I think anything else I add will be too distracting. You won't be able to tell it's a candy cane, and I definitely want you to be able to see that. But yeah, I think this is a cute little embellishment, and you can see basically in real time, you know, my thought process when I'm doing something like this. Now that I have sort of a plan, right, a formula, it'll be a lot faster to make more of these. So the first one always takes the longest. That's why I usually make multiples, because first of all, I need multiples for swaps, but also because once you get the plan down, that's the time consuming part. And then the manufacturing is the quick and easy part once you figure out what you're doing. So you make one and then you can make several that are similar to it, right? Because I know I'm going to have like a circle behind and then the ticket and a couple of embellishments back here, a gingerbread and a sentiment and some like little gold twine. So yeah, I think that's super duper cute. You know, the only thing I might add is some little enamel dots. Let me see if I've got any of those in my stash to add. Okay, I just added a few enamel dots. It's very small touch, but it adds to the texture and I think it looks cute. So there you go. There is my finished product. So I'm going to keep making these and I will talk to you guys later. All right, thanks for stopping by. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. All right, bye.